Hey guys, Matt here, the Broken Supercoach. Bit unusual to be checking in on a Monday, but there was a bit of footy today, as everyone knows. So, just checking in, do the weekly round review. This is just reset, so I haven't really looked at this at all. I have seen my score, and it's a bad week. Reeves dropped late, who I brought in, so I'm down to rank 300, which is as low as I've been for quite a while. 300. Top 100 will still be on the cards. I've looked at it that with these extra trades, a lot of people have used them. I didn't use them, so I look at the trade. The extra trade I've got is more value to me than the rank at the moment. A lot of people did some cheesy stuff to get some extra points this week, maybe a little bit of extra points next week, but I'm banking on that hurting them a lot by the end of the season. So marathon, not a race. It's round 14. There's still heaps of footy to be played, so I'm not too fussed. I expect to drop a little bit more next week, and then make a real big burst for the rest of the season. My projected score this week is absolutely horrendous, and I think everyone will be. So let's have a look how the team went, and just see how screwed everyone is in round 14. Before I load in here, I'm thinking honestly, we're talking probably. Sorry about this. Probably, geez, you'd be thinking 1,000 would be a good score this week. Seriously, 1,000, if you can pull that up. So let's just, first thing we'll do is we'll see who we've got playing. So we do have a back line that's fully playing, so we're pretty happy with that. Jones is going to go this week. So let's see. Let's go through the team. Lloyd Mills, these two have been great. Happy with them, and I love Tom Stewart. I've had him all season, and he's now in 30% of teams, which is a bit frustrating. He seems to have just been someone that a lot of people started, so that is what it is. Whitfield I brought in, he wasn't great, but neither were the entire GWS team. They actually should have lost, in fairness, to seal my 0 tips. Short, beautiful. I trust this guy. I trust Short. He's quite well owned. You can't do anything about the short position. And Jones, now, here's where the predicament happened. Murphy's gone down in money, so now, literally a week later, Murphy's the dead position, which is crazy to think. But we've got Jones. So I couldn't loop anyone here because they were all playing, and Jones was the no-brainer, you would have thought. Who would have picked Highmore going for his best score of the season? Potentially the Rising Star nominee if Thilthorpe doesn't get it. So with this break-even, we'll let this play a little bit. I thought the Saints were on a bye this week, but I guess they're not. Did they already have a bye? No. So why is he not blue? I don't know. Bit of an issue there. In fact, these blue dots haven't updated. So let's give this a little refresh. I know off the top of my head who they are, but we'll see if Supercoach get their act together here. Excuse the load screen. Obviously, Supercoach have taken the full piss. There's probably a few people hitting the page at the moment. So, yeah, still haven't updated the buy. So get your act together, Supercoach there. Highmore's on a buy, but I feel like with a break-even of -2, if you can afford to hold him, then keep doing it. You could even put him on the field after this week. Jones, he'll go. I'll probably slot Laird in. That's 6 defenders done. Let's get back to the mids. So, Oliver ended up scaling up to 100, which is pretty lucky. Zorko's off this week, which is unfortunate. I got these two guys back, happy. So I vice-captain Steele, which I was pretty happy with, and he was about 120. He was about 130 at halftime, or probably halfway through the third quarter. He's about 130, and proceeded to absolutely vanish. The Saints are, if you're a Saints fan, I feel for you. I really feel for you, because this team is trash. Steele was off the ground for so long, and then he just he vanished. Well, the entire St Kilda team vanished, in fairness, and the Crows put in a lot of heart, but 130 midway through the third quarter, I mean, that's almost sabotage. It's almost like they didn't want to win. So anyway, I put the V on him. He got scaled up 5 points. He's 126. Took that score. Now, as you guys know, I chased a lot. I would have chased it into Gorn, so this was, again, the correct call. I wasn't confident in making Laird the captain, though he probably is, at the moment, a very nice captain option. On a bye this week, though, so He's on a bye. We'll bring Lyons back. Happy to see you. Thanks for coming. Steele's out. Happy to see you. These two boys will have to... a bit frustrated with Bianco, but he's probably going to have to go. Poulter was always going to go this week. This guy's on a bye. So it's going to be tough to work out what we're getting because the buys aren't updated. So ruck-wise, pure disaster, and I'm sure a lot of people had this. Let's see how many people had this disaster on their hands. 1.7% of people did. So I made this trade about an hour before the game, and then within 10 minutes, he was named unfit. So I don't know how long I'm supposed to wait there. And I always say that, don't lock him in. But, like, how long do you want me to wait? It took an hour before the game, they pulled him out. So, and then his replacement, Segler, played pretty well. There's a chance that Reeves doesn't play this week. And now I'm really relying on Grundy to be back at round 15. And if he's not, I will trade Grundy out. I'm not taking a 0 on round 15. I'm just going to have to play Grundy off against someone else. And while we're on that, this could be a good trade in the end to do it now. Next week, sorry. If the news is that he's back, you probably give him 1 week. If he doesn't play round 15, then I don't trust that he's going to play. And I don't trust that he's fit for the rest of the year. It was a pretty bad injury, a neck nerve. That's that's not great. You don't think he just comes back and starts dropping hundreds every game. You think he'd be on limited minutes, on limited rotations, probably play a bit in the forward line a fair bit. I would not be shocked if he doesn't come back round 15, but I am willing to hold out to see what happens. If he's named in round 15, I'll watch him for 1 week. And if he drops anything lower than 80, Grundy is renowned for when he's had a little bit of a break, he'll drop an 80 or a 90. And if he does that, I'll keep him. But if he drops a 50 to a 60 in his first game back, and I'll watch the... who's he playing? I'll watch the Fremantle. So he should pop off against Fremantle. Sean Darcy's not the greatest ruckman. Wherever this is. Marvel, so it's in Victoria. So he should, assuming they play footy in Victoria in round 15, they should. So I'll keep a close eye on Grundy in round 15, assuming he plays. And I did the whole trade, and happy with it. This guy's great. Seems to have taken Zeebel's role, but Zeebel, we're locked in on Zeebel now. We could have got him. We could have traded him out at 600k. Was it 600? About 599. Could have traded him out. A lot of people started trading him out here. But I just don't. I don't think that's the right call. This is our boy. He was really nice. We just don't have the trades to do it. Cullen Coleman-Jones again. Would love to have this spot here. Did bring him in though. He did come in. Use Madden as the loop. And disaster stations with these two. And I'm probably going to trade them both. I don't think Heaney is it. That's a terrible mistake that I've made with Heaney. I just need to see what sort of money I've made out of him. So I've traded him in at 398. Now he's 402. I'm happy to use those two bonus trades on Heaney. That's ridiculous that I did that, and I feel stupid. This is a bad pick. And I just don't know what I was thinking. I'm really frustrated in that. And Impy's lost the role, sadly. So we've just got to look at this guy as a rookie now. We picked him up as a 200k rookie. He made 200k. His break-even's now 136. It probably is time for him to go, because the role is gone. Now, I may not do it this week because he still puts up enough that it's not really bad, and he's made 202k. So, but you can't. Your forward line's not finishing with Impy in it. I'm sorry to tell anyone who wanted to have Impy in their final six. I thought that going in, but it's very clear that they've switched it up on him. So the final forward line is probably going to be something like Zorko, Hall, Bolton, Zeeble, and for the last two spots will probably be Langford and Dustin Martin. I think you got to get Martin. I'll do that in a couple of weeks. But I think you have to do Martin, just because if you don't have him, you're in. He's a negative. I guess it's what's called a negative pod. So point of difference. Someone like Lyons was a very nice pod for me. So not many people have Lyons, 6% of the league have Lions. Reeves is a great example of a terrible pod, but not many people have Lions, so that's what you call a pod. When it comes to Dustin Martin, 60% of the league own him. That's what you call a negative pod. So by not having Martin, you don't get his score. Now, if Martin's playing well, it means that it's a negative pod because everyone has him and you're banking someone else against him. So sometimes it's better just to go with the meta. I don't really care for Dustin Martin. Richmond have an easy enough run and he usually has a good second half of the season. So you have to take him because everyone else has him. It's just one of those picks. But that said, Langford this week, hopefully, I'm going to play around a bit with the trades. Hopefully Langford this week, and then that would mean that I can compare Dangerfield and Dusty at similar prices, and maybe even Dangerfield's a little bit cheaper than Dusty at the time. So it's something that I'll think about doing. I don't think Dangerfield, I don't think he's it this year, which is surprising, but we'll come back in 2 weeks, which is perfect for in a week, see how Dangerfield went this week. Is he improving? Is he getting more midfield minutes? And then we'll make a choice between Dusty and Dangerfield. So, because Dangerfield's going to drop, he'll be at Heaney price. So sadly, these guys are going to go. I'm going to get rid of Heaney this week. That's about all I've really got to comment on team wise. Pretty average week, but I knew that this was going to be tough once Reeves went out. And it's highly frustrating because I could have had Coleman Jones up here. I tried desperately to get Highmore onto the field, but couldn't, obviously. No missing players. I did think about trading Zorko for Josh Kelly and keeping Josh Kelly for these 2 weeks. In hindsight, that probably was... I know I ratted on it a lot last week, but in hindsight, that probably was a really good trade. And then I don't know if Zorko... I mean, I feel like Zorko is still the number one forward. And by not having him... 35% of people still have him. I don't know how many people traded him out in the last few weeks. But I feel like he's too convincing to not go. Hasn't scored... What is that? 3 times under 100 all year. I feel like you're almost obliged to keep him. But it would have been nice to go him to Josh Kelly... find a way to get Zorko in later, or play Langford and Martin, and then someone else like a Dangerfield, and just play them off against Zorko. But I think I've just got to take the Dangerfield miss, which is frustrating. I mean, the Zorko miss, sorry, which is frustrating to say the least. So, yeah, as you can see, not a lot playing here, which is really frustrating. Here's 2 guys that aren't playing. Here's another guy that's not playing. So, I've got a lot. So, we'll just hit the trades. As far as what we're going to do this week, we're going to trade Lockie Jones. That was always the plan. What's his break even at 20? I don't really care. The plan was to always do that. What's he made? 97k. We'll take it. He was handy cover, but he's done. I think he's done. That's probably the best. I'm going to milk him, especially with Highmore still with money to make. And Murphy is a dead spot. He's only made 63k and he's done. In hindsight, this is a bad rookie. Poulter on a buy, so he's been a great rookie. Really good player. I really like him. DPP, still break even to 38, but with the buy this week, he's made you 195k. You say thanks very much and good night. And then who else should we think about doing? McCreary will be the other one. Break even of 27. He's decent. He puts out 40 to 50. A nice rookie for us. Made 100k. Not great, but it's his bye week. Good night. So that's 3 trades for 600, for 857. And I may use 4. So the first thing we'll do is we'll talk about who are people bringing in this week. Reeves is risky, but you probably still bring him in if you can. Luke Edwards is on a bye, but I think I'm going to take him. I know he doesn't play till round 15, but I think for the money-wise, unless there's another guy I can think of, I think he's our guy. Where did this guy come from? Luke Foley. Oh, I might have looked at him last week. Jeez, what a stiff little... That's frustrating. Geez, there's another one for round 15. I'll take that at 160 if he's playing. You got to be careful with these West Coast rookies. But yeah, Edwards I think I'll go with. Newcomb I'll go with as well. So we've got to do a little bit of shuffling here. We've got to send Laird back, and that's our 6 just there. Terrible, obviously, for this week. Absolutely terrible. But it is what it is. So Newcomb, you go early on. You have to. You can't ignore this bloke. He's unbelievable. Edwards, you go with as well. Then probably put Zorko back. And I've got 637 to play with. And I could also do Heaney too. So I might think about that. So it's important to get these guys, when you're doing these trades, it's important to get them back in the position you want them. So I've got my back 6 now. For the rest of the season, these are my guys outside of injury. These are my back 6. So really happy with this. I don't think there's anyone I'm missing here. Ridley, I don't think it's worth playing Ridley against anyone. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm feeling pretty good about the back 6. Whitfield, I'm a little cautious on, but he should be okay. Midfield now still has 2 spots to fill. Whether I take a 600k mid here and put him in, maybe. And then the forward line is a genuine mess. Let's just hit T on Heaney, because I'm absolutely furious at him. So that gives us $1 million to work with. 4 trades for $1 million. It brings us down quite low. It brings us down to 5 trades, which is really concerning. But I think we're just going to have to do this. And let's see what we can do. So let's play around with some names that I like. I want to bring a forward who's playing in. And that'll be Langford or Dale. I think Langford for the money. And then we'll see how we go from there. So let's have a look. We'll go with a bit of Langford. So Langford's DPP as well. So I think you can't really ignore that. The only issue... Get out of here. You're going into the forward line, mate. So the only issue with Langford is that he's only played this role for a couple of weeks and he had a bye. So only started scoring like this recently. But that said, I think it's Devon Smith I think he's covering for. I can't quite remember. It might be McGrath he started doing some work for. I'm feeling good that he keeps this role for a while. It does seem like I'm chasing points from Heaney to Langford, but this is a pretty popular pick. Yes, he's 1%. He will be picked a lot this week, I think. I think he's going to go up when you can see the most traded in. When it gets down the bottom, I think you'll see that this guy is getting picked a lot this week. At 474, he's hard to ignore. The other option could be someone like Dusty. Doesn't play this week. At 472, I'll probably do him next week. So for a similar price to Dusty, that's pretty good, isn't it? Dangerfield's a bad trade this week. Don't do it. I'll give you that straight away. And then so now I've got 566, which is actually a really awkward number and doesn't leave us with too much, which is quite frustrating in fairness. It puts us just out of reach of Josh Kelly, puts us out of reach of Ollie Wines, who are the 2 I would have liked. It does give us Tom Mitchell. I'm pretty happy. I could be pretty happy with Tom Mitchell. I feel like he's come on now. He's certainly, he started to put in some pretty big numbers. I copped a tag here. I'm feeling pretty decent about this score. The only issue is that he's up and down this year. We don't have the 600k for that. So the other option, and that, we're not going to go, just for the record, we're not going to go any lower than guys like this, 566. The ideal one would be Dusty, but he doesn't play. So someone like a Taranto could be a good choice. You want to leave yourself a little bit of cash. I think his scoring's done. Josh Kelly seems to have taken it. James Jordan, how frustrating that we traded him out. But he only went up 20k, and the point was between Poulter and him. So bit of messing around to do here. So let's say I don't go Langford. Let's say I did actually make a spreadsheet. I should have opened it up because there's a couple more guys that I would have liked to have got. So let's say, all right, we've got $1 million here, and we're looking at mids. So we go with we go to total points. And like I said I was going to do, I'll full send for Darcy Parish. Let's say I do that. That gives me 381 with a forward line spot. So let's have a think about like who could we bring in to do that. We're obviously only... We're not trading Impey this week. We'll trade Impey next week. So we need Impey for buy cover, and then he's gone. Let's look down the list. There's not really many choices, sadly, as far as guys to bring in. It seems to want to bring a mid, so it seems that my trading has lost the plot here. I might have to just start this again, because this seems to... Let's see if we can fix it. Yeah, there we go. Moving Bolton from there to there fixed it, apparently. So we'll go back to forwards here. So is there anyone really worth looking at? Not really. Who's this guy? Oh, yeah, I don't mind that. I don't know the job security of this guy. Probably not happy with that. Didn't play, and then we're down to guys who aren't playing. So, not ideal. What if we put Brockman in? Any mids? Not really. You know, we'll have to keep an eye on the teams. Someone like Holmes might play. Didn't this week, obviously, but he might. It does make it very tough. We could use this Luke Foley for a week and then trade out Highmore later. I don't like the idea of it. So we gotta accept that Parish probably isn't happening. So we flick that off. We're probably not getting Parish. So I probably won't lock in any trades because you really want to see the team named before you do anything really hardcore. I feel like Langford is the best pickup for me this week. And then it's about who I can bring in against Langford. And we had 566, wasn't it? So let's do that quickly. We'll just go get Langford. Langford. This is in full piss take mode. So the trade has bugged out a little bit. So we'll just cancel that. And we'll start again. So it was this guy. It was this guy. It was this guy. And it was this guy. So they're the trades. And then we'll go to the break evens. It was this guy. He goes back. He goes back. It's Newcomb. Then it's Kyle Langford, who sits there, and then we got 566 for a midfielder. It's probably, as much as I don't want to do it, it could be Tom Mitchell, or we'll go here, or Bailey Dale. So that's probably what my trades look like this week. Two big ins, Bailey Dale and Langford. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Actually, the more I look at that, that's probably how we are going to look. I don't think I've missed any big ins. With the plan next week to flick Impey. And then we got to worry about this ruck spot next week. That's probably how we're going to look. So without the buys, I can't see my projected, sadly. So that's frustrating, but I'll hit complete on that. Geez, we start to get into scary territory here. 5 trades left. So the back 6 sorted. Let's just set the team up properly. So put him on. So that's our mid sorted, or we can bring one more in if we want to. That's here sorted, or we can bring, or we do a Grundy trade, which starts bringing us down very low, and that leaves us with one guy here. So we've still got one position to fill, and it's going to be forward or mid, Dusty, Dangerfield, one of those two. I like the idea of that. The more I think about it, And I already feel so good getting rid of Heaney. So, should I have just done Dale in round 12? Yes, instead of Heaney, obviously. It is what it is. But that team is looking good. I don't see any significant holes. Missing Parrish and Merritt's pretty awkward. And Dusty will be fixed, or Dangerfield, very quickly. So, I'm feeling pretty good about that. How will I get to it? Well, I'll get it through Impy. And... oh, it's just a one trade. It's 2 trades, isn't it? So that'll lead me down to 3 trades, which was always the plan. So sadly, I took the 2 bonus trades and turned it into Heaney in, Heaney out. So, thanks, Isaac Heaney. Cheers, mate. What that means is we're going to get very close if we have to use Grundy on a trade there. Really need Reeves to play. That's my big concern. Really need Reeves to play. Anyway, kept you for a little while. Let us know how you went. Rank 300, frustrating, but like I said, marathon, not a sprint. So, not too fast at all. Cheers for watching. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe if you're not already subscribed. As usual, thanks for the support on the channel. Love chatting to you guys in the comments. And I'll chat with you guys Thursday. We'll have another teams drop, and we'll see how these trades look. And hopefully, we can do a projected, and we'll maybe in the comments we'll work out what's the lowest projection of the year for everyone, of the week. Sorry. Have a good one.